Okay, I am back. But the capybara is done. So I got nothing else. Well, the eyes aren't on yet, but those will be on tonight. But for all intents and purposes, it's done. Let me get this out of the way. So I am between projects right now. I thought about. I've been doing some sketches of some possible ideas. However, I don't know if I'm ready to start a new one because I got another big project coming up. Oh, my hair looks terrible. Oh well. I got a new project that's coming up, so I don't really know if I want to start a whole other build. So what I thought I'd do is just show you guys a little behind the scenes of my, I guess, previously abandoned career as a cartoonist. Because I had some people ask questions about it, so I will do it. But yeah, let me find a blank page here. I've kept a sketchbook for the last. Let's see, I started in about '92, and oh my gosh, this hair, it's like Adam Savage's feed. I started keeping a sketchbook when I was in an art class in college, and I have something like 50 or 60 of them in a cabinet in my living room. They ended up in a dumpster at one point because when I was moving, my friend Ken Plume basically told me to fish them out because I was throwing away history. So I fished them out of the dumpster at like 3 a.m, and I haven't opened them since. But anyway, I usually get the cheapest sketchbook that I can because I find that if I get something too expensive, I'm too precious with it. So I get these guys. And, you know, a lot of it is me making notes. And here, so this is when I was building Zoidberg. And I'll use it to kind of figure stuff out. And oftentimes it's not like, here's Nelson from Mongrels. This is the project I was thinking about starting. I still plan to do this, but I don't know. I don't know when. I may just take some of the concepts I was going to try on this and make a new Eddie, because that's kind of how Eddie started. It was kind of my my take on that style of puppet. In addition to Zoidberg, I had some ideas for how to do Popeye. And this predates when Phil Fletcher was building Popeye, but I've always been fascinated by by that character. There's Godzilla. So basically, there's a bunch of artwork here. There we go. So when I would do Melonpool, which was a comic that I did for about 12 years, I guess, all told, 14 years. I did it as a daily comic, although I missed a lot of days. I would take weeks off at a time, months off at a time, years off at a time. So over the span of about 14 years, I did about 10 years worth of comics. Still is a lot for somebody who never really got paid for it. So what I would do is I would take my sketchbook and I would draw a big like cross on it, and it would translate to 4 panels. I think I might have an old strip here, or 2, or 500, or 2100. Let's see. Just see one here. So these are some of the last ones that I did. Actually, these are all abandoned strips. Ooh, I have a blank here too. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. So what I would do is I would plot out the comic on these 4 panels, and they would correspond to the 4 panels that I would draw. Okay, let's see. Typical, as soon as I need that clone, he's nowhere to be found. Hey, Ralph, did you ever build any other spaceships? No, I started a production model but never finished it. Think someone might be infringing on your patents. What? There's another duck-shaped spaceship down on the planet. A ship that doesn't look... The ship doesn't look like a duck. Boy, with comedy like this, it's amazing. I don't keep doing it. You can see on here the level of detail that I put into some of these. I wish I had a finished one here someplace. So suddenly we're back on a daily comic after a 7-year hiatus. Yep, looks like it. I could almost do this one now. Well, count me out. I know it's frustrating, Ralph, but now is the perfect time to come back. If anything, we may have peaked early. We were one of the first webcomics in 1996. The successful webcomics of today were helped by us paving the way. If only we had patented the idea way back then. Yeah, too bad we can't go back in time. Oh, that's actually kind of a funny idea. I might keep that one aside. So I would go in here and I would do the sketching, and then I would do the thought balloons, and then I would ink it. So, I mean, I guess my original plan was to draw one from scratch, but it seems like it'd be easier just to ink one of these old ones that I never finished. Maybe I'll do that one that I just showed you guys. I don't know if this is interesting. This is not puppet related, other than I do a lot of drawing and designing puppets. But I know there are people that overlap, so this is what I'm going to do today. So again, what I would do is I had this blank. Where's that blank? So I use my grandfather's old drafting arm and what's called an Ames guide, which is this weird little... Actually, let me go grab the Ames guide. So this is an Ames guide. It's actually a draftsman tool. And what you do... I don't have all my tools here, but I have some of my tools. So what you would do is you would put a straight edge at the bottom here, and then you slide it back and forth with... I usually use a mechanical pencil for this. And you run it back and forth, and then you put the pencil in one of these lines, one of these dots. I usually use these guys every other one, and then run it back and forth. And as you do, you can draw the lines in place, and that keeps your text lined up. So I would go through and I would kind of sketch out the characters. Usually I didn't work this tight. Usually I would draw pretty loose, because I mean it was just me inking it. I don't know why I did in this particular case. And then I had different pens that I would use in addition to everything else. Let's see what I got in here. This is my kind of travel art click case. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of these dirty. So that's a whiteout pen thing. I use these more on... Let's see. Wait, I can't believe how dirty all... I haven't touched this stuff in years. Okay, so this is the... I don't even know why I have that one there. Okay, so this is the Micron 1, which... Yep, still works. Okay, we'll keep that one aside. And I use that to do the panel borders. You're not really supposed to use Sharpies, but I did. I like to use Sharpies. These are the pens I use more for whatchamacallit. Oh my gosh. For the Tilly comics. Hey, John. Now, this is perfect that John Russell. It's great to see you working here, Steve. John Russell is one of my oldest, dearest friends and Melonpool fans. He discovered me during the first couple of years and followed it for years and years and years. And here he is to witness me doing something else with Melonpool, I guess, to some extent. Okay, so let me go through. These are all probably dead pens. Let's see. Oh, that's not too bad. And what I used to do is I used to put the date that I used the pen when I opened the pen, because they had like that's actually pretty good too. They had a life to them. And when they got too thick, I would stop using them. Or the tip would get messed up. Okay, that one's pretty bad. Get rid of that one. That one's pretty good. Oh, and that's a full size. Now, the bad thing about Sharpies is they will change color over the years, but I really didn't care about that sort of stuff. If you have them in the sunlight, they'll turn kind of blue. But so let me show you the process that I would do. Now, a lot of cartoonists would write all their dialogue and then draw the characters, and then they would basically squeeze the characters in wherever there wasn't dialogue. Now, the way I would always work, because I tended to be really wordy, I would do all my writing in my sketchbook. If I knew which sketchbook, I would actually find this one. Let's see if I haven't drawn comics in years, so I probably don't have a whole lot of stuff. But I would draw the dialogue and I would work it out over 3 or 4 pages. And I would do very little drawing. It was all about the writing. I can maybe not grab that one, but. Okay, so I grabbed an old sketchbook. Like I said, I have about 60 of them in the other room. And what I would do is I would work out gags on these pages until I got something I liked. It was reworking the dialogue, trying to come up with the thing. And then if I used it, I would put a little check mark in the corner. So that way, if I ran out of ideas later, I could go into my sketchbook and I could maybe rework an old gag that I didn't use. But you can see how much drawing I actually do in here. Very little. A few pages of this. There's probably some puppet design in here too. There's a steel duck. I did very little drawing in my sketchbook, but I did a lot of writing. Yeah, so anyway, crazy stuff. Okay, so at some point, I thought this idea was good enough that I would put it onto the Bristol board. Now, Bristol board, what I would use is this stuff called, it was Strathmore Bristol 2-ply. I think it's 2-ply. It's acid free. Oh, here we go. 300 series. And I'd go between the smooth, which is this, and the rough, because every once in a while I would start inking, and the paper wouldn't take the ink right, so I would switch it up, and that seemed to fix it. So I'm going to zoom in on this so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Now, I hand lettered everything. I haven't lettered in years, but let's see how I do. It takes a lot of concentration. You don't want to speed through it, and you don't usually write it by word. You write it by letter. And I probably won't talk too much while I'm doing this, but the way I would do it is you would think each letter as you did it, and sometimes I'd rewrite on the fly. So let's see. Okay, and you can see I don't follow it exactly. I'm fixing the spacing. I have to adapt for it, but like I said, I usually would do I would take the text that I did, and I kind of roughly know how much space I needed, but then I would draw all the at least the stick figure version of all the characters for placement, and then I would go in and I would try to figure out how to edit down the dialogue that I came up with to the smallest amount that I could without redrawing that panel. Because what I was finding early on is I would write so much text that I ended up these little heads at the bottom of the panel. And I didn't like that. I wanted to get more into like the Calvin and Hobbes end of things. Waterstone was always a big hero to me when I was, it still is. But I would basically, I would draw it, and then if I had to, absolutely had to, could not get it any smaller, any less text, I would basically redraw the panel to try and get a better layout and then squeeze it in. Again, a lot of people thought I was crazy doing it that way, but that was the way I did it. The other thing I did is I 9 times out of 10 would keep it to 4 panels so that I could stack them on top if I ever wanted to, and layout wise. And that was another thing that both Calvin and Hobbes and Peanuts did for a long time. Yeah, so and I always tried to be very neat with my writing, and they say I have a very classic cartoonist way of writing. This has all the Melonpool tropes in it. The 4 you can see once I start drawing, I don't. Okay, it has the 4 periods that drop off like that. It has the black kind of light thing in the background, which I'll talk about that when I get to it. It has the weird. So actually, I don't like where that tail is right there. So I'm going to fix that on the final. And what I'm going to do in the margin, I'm going to make notes. Ralphie's tail. And I put that in the margin because what I'll do is when I get to the end of this, I will erase all the pencil lines, and then I'll go back with the whiteout and I will make all these changes that I need to do. Okay, so let me go back in here. I gotta say, this is a pretty solid Melonpool strip. I'm surprised I didn't actually finish it, but who knows? Maybe I did. Maybe I actually did it as another, like I redrew it for some reason, but okay. So on perfect, I went. Oh, I'm not even showing what I'm doing. On the word perfect, I want to make it bolder. And if I had all the pens that I have some pens that are a little thicker than others. I have, but usually what I would do is I would go over it twice. So feel like this pen is dying on me. Okay. Hopefully I'm not putting my head right in the middle of it. Okay. Okay, so this is awfully long. So if anything, we may have peaked early. We were one of the first webcomics in 1996. The successful webcomics of today were helped by us paving the way. Well, there's nothing to really pull out of that because it's all true. Okay. Okay. So I am going to make some edits to this. So it says we were one of the first webcomics in 1996. It just occurred to me, if I just put as one of the first, I can clear up a little space. So let's just okay. Well, of course, now it changes everything. Okay, I'm totally changing the wording on this because now I've backed myself in a corner because I didn't plan ahead. But okay, it doesn't really matter. But okay, as one of the first webcomics in 1996, we paved the way for the, I think web comics. Yeah, web comics of today. Okay, so the main reason I did that is because there was a lot of dialogue in that panel, and I wanted to make it as short as possible. So, so that you can see how that. I don't know if you can see it, but see how that just made a double line. I don't know if you can see it. See the double line that I got right there? That was because this pen is just about deed. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to get rid of this pen. And the reason I didn't just change, if I can help it, is because it'll change the thickness of that line. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this one. Hopefully I can find one that's... Okay, so this is a different pen. So we'll see how... Okay, this pen is leaking all over me. So you can get rid of that one too. It's pretty thick for that. Okay, so we're not going to use that one. Let's see if I can find a fairly fine point or a Sharpie that I haven't completely destroyed. Tell you what, foam dulls the tips of these Sharpies faster than just about anything. Okay, this one's pretty tight. Oh, that's pretty bad. Okay, I don't have one that's... This is not too bad. Okay. All that for that. Okay, so... Okay, well, again. All right, so now I need to track down my other ruler. What did I do with that? Let me see if I can find it. So I have a ruler somewhere that I put tape on so that it elevates the back of it up off the table, and that way I don't smear all my ink. Okay, found it. Again, I don't do a lot of cartooning. So this is the inking ruler that I have, and it's just basically a plastic ruler that I put a couple of lines of masking tape on the back. And what that does come on. Okay. So what that does is it keeps the plastic from rubbing against the paper. What did I do with that? Okay. And this is a 1. Okay. Can't believe how filthy all these pens are. Okay. And then I can just I usually skip the one where it's a close-up of the head. And then it basically keeps it from smearing the ink as I do these borders. And I kind of, if I got the lettering real close to the edge, a lot of times I would kind of sneak the black line a little bit farther away from the text so it didn't run into it real bad. I have a font that I made off of my handwriting as well. But I didn't like, I like there being an original and not, hello, Chase. So you picked a great time to come on here. Chase is one of the newest Melonpool fans, and I always said I was going to be doing this. It was because yesterday I got out when I was on the live feed. We were talking about how I stored my patterns, and I said, listen, patterns are the least of my problems. Look at all these Melonpool strips I have. and then I pulled out like a fifth of them, and it weighed about 10 pounds. So, okay. So I've done the borders. I don't like how close that is, but I'm not going to do it futz with it. All right. Now on to the next part. So I don't know how I mean, like I said, I haven't used this ink in quite some time, so we'll see. So this is the way I have my ink set up. This is Higgins Black Magic, which I found was the ink that I like to use. And I would tape it to a old piece of Bristol board that I'd fold in half, and that way I'd have less of a tendency to knock it over. So how long has it been since you did this sort of thing? Well, when I did the Tilly books was during COVID. So 5 years, 4 years. Yeah, this is an old unused strip, Chase. In fact, I might still use it. It actually still holds up. So I probably should have figured out how many years it's been since I actually did one. I didn't do. The last time I did Melonpool was during the first year of Alien versus Musical. So that was 2015. So it's been 10 years since I did a Melonpool strip. Okay, so anyway, back to our story. So I have this thing. This is just going to be right off camera. It's I have my Winsor Newton Series 7 number 2 brush, which I use to ink. Again, I haven't done this in a long time, so we'll see how good I do. And I take off the thing. I should probably do a test before I do anything. So let me see. I dipped it. Let me go wash it off. I'm sure my Pro White is all dried up because that stuff dried terribly. Let me show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm just basically dipping it in the ink. And I'm kind of turning it to get a point on it. That's what all these lines are. Okay, so here we go. Oh, my hand's all wet too. Oh yeah, there's tons. I've pulled a stack of these out. Usually they're just earlier versions of ones that I finished. So I'm gonna zoom in on this, and I'm gonna be quiet because it's hard for me to draw and talk at the same time. I can make puppets and draw, or make puppets and talk, but not draw. It'll come back to me. So I'm basically painting on the ink. I'm bringing stuff back into character when I can, using thicker lines in certain areas. Chase, I went back into the live and saw other unused strips. Are they cheaper to buy than regular? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they're even worth buying. A lot of them aren't even close to being finished. Like I abandoned them as I was drawing them. So there's Ralph. And even though both of you guys know who these characters are, I have an audience of super fans here. Ralph and Ralphie have the exact same model. It's just their posture change is different, and these little wisps on the top of odd and their eyes. Basically, the only two things that are different. Okay. See, I was pretty fast when I would do the inking. Okay, there's one panel. I love how disgusted Ralph can look. And the ink dries pretty fast. I mean, that's one of the reasons I like the. You see, I just rubbed my hand right through it. I didn't have a problem. Okay. All right. Wait, what we got here? Okay. All right. There's ironic conflagrated. Oh, this is nothing. What is this? You get rid of that. How do I do it? Okay. That was spam by something. I don't know what that was. That's dirty pool. Okay. All right. Oh, wait. There was something here. Okay. There is an ironic conflagration here. I relocated office for my business in June 1st. My main workspace is now in my house. I've been in the process of unpacking stuff and rearranging and purging my books and files. I discovered all of the books. Okay, now I thought that was a spam. Discovered all the books you published and made sure what I have that is Melonpool is out on my bookshelves. I know life has changed a lot for both of us, but your work is a special place to me, and my discoveries of your stuff amongst my archive stored books happened earlier this week. It seems as faith that Steve Troop and I connect again. Yeah, you know what? And I have this idea for. I remember you sent me an email or a Facebook message years ago where you mentioned that you tried to get back into it. And I did the reboot. You tried to get back into it, but it just wasn't the same, and the new storyline just didn't resonate the way the old one did. And I think I had already stopped doing it at that point, but it got me thinking about a storyline to put everything back together. And if and when I come back, that's going to be the storyline I do. I have this crazy idea for a way to make everything work again. So anyway, it's very reciprocal, John. Yeah, I get these posts on the feed sometimes from spammers, and I thought that's what it was. Okay, it wasn't spam. It was from me. Okay, good. Yeah, I get these ones from that look like they're spam. They're like, do you want to grow your thing? I thought that's what it was. And I never use that feature, but I was like, oh, this is so long. I'll just put it up on this thing. Okay, so there's Ralphie. I was always happy with the way that I could make these characters look distinctively different, even though they're exactly the same. It was always fun for me. Yeah, I get these spam ones that are like, do you want to buy 50,000 subscribers at the drop of a hat? Click here for that. And I thought that's what I had clicked on. Okay. Well, it was very cool, John. And thank you for writing all that. Okay. All right. So now, I don't know that I had any of that on camera. Sorry. I'm going to wash out this brush. I'll be right back in a second. Oh, I'm sure there are. Just a second. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a thing. This thing right here is full of old Melonpool discarded strips and stuff. It's not full, but there's a lot in there. It's from the last batch of strips I did. I can't get this drawer completely open because of the puppet stuff that's right here. But I could fish it out. I just barely could get these guys out. So, okay. So now, back to this. I'm going to go in with my black pen here and start filling in the black. And any antennas or whatever that get close, I have to draw around those. And then the eyeball. Actually, I can maybe get rid of. See, that's another reason why I don't white it out early, is because some of it I don't have to white out. Okay, so then I go in with my. So I used to sell the. I used to sell the dailies for, I think it was 40, and the Sundays for 80. I think that's what it was. I don't remember exactly. I have such low demand for my old strips. I usually don't sell them for very much anymore. So many of them were plot driven that it was hard to sell them as singles. Like, I think the one I sent you was from Sammy to the Future. It was just the beginning of it. And the one John has, or at least I think you have a couple, but the one I remember you having was the one where you're in it, where you're the judge, right? Didn't I send you that one? And the whole reason why I have these black backdrops here, these black pieces of color, is early on in my cartooning career, a professional cartoonist said that I didn't use enough black on my comics, that they were, it was if you squinted at it, things would disappear. And so he said that I should really start putting black into the backgrounds of my comics, the black ink, to make stuff pop. And so I started experimenting around, and this is what I settled on, is doing these kind of geometric shapes in the background to make my backgrounds pop. Oh, let me put it on camera. There we go. And he said, yeah, I should squint at I don't do it, but I should squint at every one of my comics before I consider them done. And if I couldn't see silhouettes of things, that I didn't have enough black on my page. So that's where all this started. And I'll go back in with like I said, I don't think my Pro White's going to work because I haven't even opened it for years. But, okay, so that one I'm going to leave blank. You were always very original and creative. If there ever is a Melonpool comeback, I would imagine your establishment of storyline would be akin to the resolution of Crisis in Infinite Earths. Yeah, well, I think so. I think you're right. I can maybe give you a little bit of a preview. So in the original comics, I did this storyline where Ralph started like falling apart because he had been cloned so many times that he no longer was viable as a life form. And so like his eye popped off and his nose popped off and he lost a tooth. And there was a storyline like that. And then when I did the reboot, I did that same storyline because I never resolved it. And then when I just finished the reboot, I did kind of resolve it. I had him get rid of Ralphie or go back in time off screen, and you know what? I'm gonna put a new tag on the new tail. So my idea is to resolve those two storylines in the two timelines into one timeline, and that's basically where the idea is. And it would be kind of like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Okay, so this was pretty easy as far as me putting it together because I didn't make any spelling mistakes or anything that at least not that I'm aware of. There could be some spelling in there. So now I'm gonna come on. Okay. I have the Sammy the Hammy dead cholesterol strip. That's right. Okay, so now, sorry it's going to shake, but it's only because this camera is attached to the table. So I go in here. And erase all the pencil. I love that this pencil was probably done 10 or 12 years ago. And it's still it still works great. Still came off just fine. So okay, let me go see if I can find my Pro White, which may or may not be able to even be opened. Like, so this stuff, what this Pro White is it's a type of whiteout that is water-based. It's like an opaque watercolor. And what's great about it is you can brush it on with a brush as opposed to having to use the little stopper thing that's in. Let me go look for it. Okay, I found it. So this is the stuff. This is bleed proof white. I don't know if you can see it, but all right, let's see. Let's see what I have to deal with here. Okay. It's pretty solid. Let me see. It doesn't look solid. It just looks like it needs water put in it. Do you have the strip where Larry and Melonpool actually interact? No, I don't. That's the one that I gave to Paul Southworth. Oh, look, it's still pretty liquid. I think I can make do with this. Just a second. I need to wash off this brush. Okay, so I put a little bit of water into the cap of this thing. I think I'm still going to need to thin it out a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Okay, so what's great about this stuff is that you can put a point on it. And fix all my little problems here. Okay. Oh, let me zoom in. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going in here and I'm fixing the little problems that I created. And then once it dries, I can put more black over it if I go a little too far. Okay, so with this one, oh, again, let me put it on camera. There you go. So with this one, I don't particularly like what's going on here. And then I'm going to make a tail, for him to speak, and I'll clean that up. So let's see, is there anything else? Like I do little minor things here and there. Like I can fix his nose. I just kind of look it over. That's what these notes are for. I put in the margins. Tail, like tail, which tells me that I needed to do that tail. Sometimes the pencil doesn't. Sorry. Sometimes the pencil doesn't completely erase, so I can go in and kind of fix that. And the beauty of it is because it is water-based, if I go too far, I can just kind of rub it off before it sets up. Okay. I'm going to wash this out. Oh, wait. Here we go. I got another big Melonpool fan, Kevin Williams, which it might have been the last time I drew. Is there any strips where Garfield and any of his Melonpool cast interact? Yeah, I still I don't think I ever did Garfield. I think it was Lyman, but I did do a comic with. I did a Garfield strip that had them. It was like it was a Garfield strip. Okay, so Kevin, is your puppet building table same as your tuning table? It is in this case. It is because I have the I have it all set up on the I'll tell you what though, I had to be real careful because this thing is leaking. Not leaking, but it's got, let me show you. See, this is that stuff. So let me clean that up real quick before I make a mess. So my drafting table, which is my grandfather's old drafting table, is out in the living room. This is my little office, but I thought rather than trying to set the camera up out there, it'd make it easier to do it in here. I'm actually pretty impressed with this stuff didn't dry up. Who's Kevin Williams? Kevin Williams? Why? He is this guy right here. There, you can see it. Yeah. That's Muley, Mayberry, Kevin, and me. Okay, so come on. No. What did I just do? Just a second. Oh, there we go. As I get back on my... I may have just killed the overhead camera. Let me see. Rear camera. There we go. Okay. Again, my technical difficulties are becoming part of my show. Okay. Back to this. All right. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to erase my pencil notes. And then I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to fix a couple of things that I messed up with the whiteout. Oops, and I just messed it up again. All right. Use that other thing to fix that. All right, so now there's the here's the comic in all its glory. Boy, I would freak a lot of people out if I just posted this. Were you going to say when the last time you drew was when we drew? So I was going to say that. I actually I had forgotten about that when I originally said that it had been like 10 years. We did a podcast where Kevin interviewed me. Kevin and Lynn interviewed me, and we shot a bunch of video of me inking another comic that I had. It was another one of these discarded comics. Let's see if I can find any others. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's right. Okay. The reason I can't get in here is because I glued, or I... Wait a second. Okay. So in here, these are some of the other comics that are discarded comics. So, yeah, some of them are funnier than others. I think usually I would get rid of the idea because they weren't particularly funny. Oh, this was from a comic that I was going to do called Alan. And I thought this was a funny idea. It was about this. Well, it says, so your father and I have something to tell you both. in hindsight, we probably should have brought this up a long time ago, but the timing never seemed right. There's no easy way to break this to you, so we'll just come out and say it. One of you was adopted. Sucks to be you, Bobby. And you can see the one kid is an alien. I was going to do this whole thing where there's this kid who is, everybody was in such denial that he was an alien living amongst the people, the regular humans. And so I did an idea for that. I may have done 2 other comics for this one, but yeah, that was about as far as I got. Here's a couple blanks. I should put these. I'll put these blanks aside just in case I ever. So this was from the reboot, and I actually I redrew this one. I didn't like the way it was drawn, so I did another version of it. Ow, what are you doing now? I'm taking some blood, you big baby. So I passed out for a mere 168 hours. Leave me alone. It's done. And then it looks like there's this big sprig of blood that comes out, and that's it. I never had an idea, I guess, for the ending. Thank you. It was Allen. So it actually, when you wrote it out, I think it was going to be like, was it Allen? Something like that. So it actually looked like alien, or it was ALL with a little L and then EN. I think that was how it was. But anyway, I have this friend named Alan, and I always thought his name looked like the word alien, and that was where that came from. Okay, let me see what else I got here. Oh, this is a Tilly strip that I never finished. It's the Muppet movie, the end of the Muppet movie. This is the script for the Melonpool movie, motion picture. Let's see, I think this is just tracing paper. Yeah, that's just tracing paper. So these are all the character bio pictures for the Alien, for the website, and this is from Alien vs. Musical. These are the plans for the Steel Duck. What is this? Oh, okay. I guess I did some. Oh, here's some of the. I didn't realize I still had some of these. These are the Peanuts tribute I did. Night of the Living Peanuts. I kept the first 10, I guess. Let's see. Here's some more of the Alien artwork. Oh, I should send this to Michelle. This is a picture of her budgie dressed as Spock. Let's see. Okay, this is from something I did with my friend Paguino. Where we used to do eBay listings and talk about them. And this is I've used this artwork for a lot of stuff, but I can't remember. This is from when we did the Kickstarter for the movie. This was when I was going to redo when I brought Melonpool back. I was originally going to format it like this so it would fit on iPhones. On iPads. And so it was formatted for that. But I couldn't get the timing right for these gags, so I ended up abandoning it after a couple. This was a tribute for Pogo that I did. Or was it Bone? Yeah, Pogo. This is a discarded page from Cryptozoe. Oh, this is from when Earl Crest died. A friend of mine, he actually puppeteered Ralphie, and I did a little tribute for him. Now we have some actual originals from the reboot, which I should. Actually, this is the last official Sunday, which I never colored. Yeah, I should get these in order. It looks like I should set all these aside. Towards the end, I got real. Oh, this is super old. Okay, so this is part of a telescope strip from when I was in college. Which, and this is the tribute from when Russell Johnson died. So let's see. It's the professor from Gilligan's Island. Okay, so let me put this. That needs to go aside. This needs to go aside. Sorry, I'm just doing my housework here. Oh my gosh, I have so many strips here from Melonpool. Look at all these. I always like this strip. This strip here. Not this one. Not this one. This one. It's a very Calvin and Hobbesy looking strip with a dinosaur. And it has Tilly in it. Last week I commented on how hard it's been to come up with ideas lately. One of my readers posted that I couldn't go wrong by adding a dinosaur or a car chase to the comic. Ding dong. I open the door and this big old dinosaur comes in and chomps on me. And then you see this dinosaur driving away in a car, and there's a police chasing after it. And then it says, Jim Cleveland sent that to me. I got to stop listening to my readers. I thought that was a funny script. Yeah, a lot of... Look at all these strips. I must not have cataloged any... Oh, here's an unfinished strip. Oh, yeah, you knew Earl as well, Kevin. No, I'll never do another Melonpool Kickstarter. That first one was a disaster. It made me so depressed from not finishing it. I didn't recover for a long time from that. Oh, this is a good strip, though. This is from when they ran into all of Sammy's relatives in the reboot. And I remember seeing comments like, oh, yeah, isn't Photoshop wonderful? No, every one of these hamsters is drawn. I sat there like Sergio Agonis and drew all these hamsters in here. It's all hand-drawn. And no whiteout. It's all... There's a little bit of whiteout here, but yeah. Okay, so this is an abandoned strip, and it looks like, morning, everyone. Oh my gosh, Mayberry, you look awful. Mayberry, you should cut back on the caffeine. That's not it. I'm tired, but I keep hearing voices all night long. Voices? Careful, hearing voices is just the first stop to Crazy Town. You're not helping, Ralph. And then I never finished it. I don't know what this is. Okay. So that's garbage is what that is. Okay. Oh, look at this. There's all kinds of drawings on the back of this. Oh, wow. Okay. So we have, these are from when I wasn't doing Melonpool, but I was still drawing stuff. So I did avatars that I had up on the website for a while. Oh my gosh. These are things, but what I said oh wow about was I was like that strip too. Yeah, I got to get these things in order for my archives. Okay. This is why my whole house is either overrun with puppets or old Melonpool originals. Sorry, I'm just looking for... Oh my gosh, that one. Oh, that would be a hard one for me to get rid of. I think about 150 I'd probably sell that one for. It just was so much work. I think I spent a week on that thing. Yeah, this one I would sell for not very much. Oh, yeah, there's a Sammy relative. Wait, guy, where's the one I just saw? I saw one as I was putting it down. There it is. Okay, so this I caught because it had, I think I was really down on my luck. Like I didn't have any Bristol board available. Oops, I just flipped it. I need to figure out a way to change this camera without screwing everything up. Sorry. Okay. Okay. All right. So it should pop on in a second. We're going to start a new drinking game. Everybody needs to take a big swig whenever I mess up my camera here. Okay. Okay, all that for this. Oh, come on, go away. Okay. All right, so this was, I was drawing all kinds of crazy stuff on a piece of Bristol. I would love to do an art show. I've always wanted to do an art show. I just don't know how to do it. So I had drawn all kinds of crazy stuff on here. There's some Snorks, some there's Opus, there's Garfield, Scrooge McDuck, there's Tom Servo, and Crow. There's Bullwinkle. There's Fred Flintstone next to an alien and Popeye, and looks like Maxwell Smart and anything. But what this is really, which is why I find it so impressive, is this is the strip, which in, I don't know when the date was, but it was the year that we lost all those celebrities. We lost Schneider from One Day at a Time, Commandant the Sard, Florence Henderson. It was Abe Vigoda, Ron Glass, Dr. Bombay, Gary Shandling, Doris Roberts, Alan Thicke, Patty Duke, David Bowie, Prince, Janet Waldo, Gene Wilder, Alan Young, the guy who did Plucky Duck, Anton Yeltsin, Alan, guy, what's his name? The one from Galaxy Quest. Somebody's gonna say it anyway. Carrie Fisher, Demi Reynolds, and Father Mulcahy, William Christopher. And I drew this strip the day, basically the night before New Year's that year, of all the people who had passed away, and then colored the next day. But yeah, that was a big strip, to the point where every year somebody asks me if I'm going to do another strip like this. Okay, I'll do that, Kevin. That's great. Kevin says I should call about doing an art show. Okay. But yeah, that was a good strip. I like that. This one's probably one I wouldn't give away or sell. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, this is the bottom of the barrel here. Yeah, these are all the strips from when I wasn't doing Melonpool, that I would just do these one-offs. Oh, here we go. So this is the T-shirt design I did for the Fraggle Rock contest. This is, and I ended up redoing it, but yeah, I drew all these guys, all the Fraggle Rock characters. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of my archives that I have right here, standing by. I need to organize these to some extent. But All right. So that's kind of how I did Melonpool. Maybe it'll spark interest in me actually doing Melonpool again. So I should send that to Denise. All righty, guys. Thanks for joining me for this Saturday trip down Melonpool Lane here. And I will catch you next time.